The rest of this is literally just like a lot of this second verse is basically dedicated to like Drake's behavior, his objectification of women.
Dear Adonis, I'm sorry that man is your father, let me be honest. It takes a man to be a man, your dad is not responsive. I look at him and wish your grandpa would a world condom. I'm sorry that you gotta grow up and then stand behind them. Life is hard, I know. The challenges always go beat us home. Sometimes our parents make mistakes that affect us until we grown. And you're a good kid that need good leadership. Let me be your mentor, since your daddy don't teach you shit. Never let a man piss on your leg, son. Either you die right there or pop that man in the head, son. Never fall in the escort business, that's bad religion. Please remember, you could be a bitch even if you got bitches. Never code switch, whether right or wrong. You're a black man, even if it don't benefit your goals. Do some push-ups, get some discipline. Don't cut them corners like your daddy did. Fuck what Ozempic did. Don't pay to play with them Brazilians. Get a gym membership. Understand, no throwing rocks and hiding hands, that's law. Don't be ashamed about who you with, that's how he treat your moms. Don't have a kid to hide again, be sure. 5% will comprehend, but 95 is lost. Be proud of who you are. Your strength come from within. Lot of superstars, that's real, but your daddy ain't one of them. And you nothing like him. You'll carry yourself as king. Can't understand me right now, just play this when you 18. Dear Sandra, your son got some habits, I hope you don't undermine them. Especially with other girls that's hurt inside this climate. You're a woman, so you know how it feels to be in alignment with emotions, hoping a man can see you and not be blinded. Dear Dennis, you gave birth to a master manipulator. Even using you to prove who he is a huge favor. I think you should ask for more paper, and more paper, and more paper.
It is wild that he addressed every member of the Graham family by name and wrote a letter to them individually in 6 minutes and 32 seconds. Boring, boring. Please, I'm falling asleep. Okay, dude. We get it. Yeah, you got nothing. So all you have in this circumstance is just, oh, it's just boring. You can't listen to this music in a nightclub. You can't listen to this music in a nightclub, guys. So owned, okay? Fucking owned. At the start of the song, we're able to see Kendrick Lamar's interpolation of the Isley Brothers' Ballad for the Fallen Soldier using the same sample that Drake and 21 Savage employed on privileged rappers by referencing the sample previously used in a song where Drake implies privilege among other rappers. Kendrick flipped his narrative, suggesting that Drake himself is the privileged one, immediately starting off the conversation by saying, "Dear Adonis," talking to Adonis, who was released to the world, revealed to the world by Push T, if you recall. He's 6 years old. It's just, I am biased. I'm definitely biased. I definitely like Kendrick Lamar and respect Kendrick Lamar a lot more than Drake, but I do think that that Drake makes great hits. It's just not a thing. Questioning Drake's manhood has been an ongoing theme. Saying, you know, your grandpa should have pulled out, should have wore a condom, so he would have never come into this world. Drake would have never come into this world. He's a scourge. Saying that he's apologizing. He goes on to call him a good kid. Good kid, Mad City. From a strategic standpoint, outright offering to mentor Drake's son, saying, listen, I won't be a stepfather. I will be the father that stepped up, which is unimaginably disrespectful. Okay? Because you don't have a real daddy in your life. You don't have a real father figure. I'll be a real father figure for you, which is insane. And not only is it, yeah, it's also Piccolo shit, 100%. But it's like the fact that Oh yeah, he talks about the piss kink. Kendrick is playing father figure to Adonis and giving him a life lesson about death before dishonor. He alludes to a story about Drake being urinated on in 2010 by T.I., which also I think is like a double entendre for a potential piss kink as well. T.I.'s inebriated friend Cap during a movie premiere in Los Angeles. Meek Mill mentioned this in July 2015 Drake diss track, Wanna Know. You let Tip Homie piss on you in a movie theater. We ain't forget. Rapper Sauce Walker also mentioned this in his own diss track months later. T.I. confirmed the claim in the second verse of his 2020 track, We Did It Big. So drunk in LA, end up pissing on Drake. Fuck it. That's still my brother since back in the trap house. Drake reportedly did nothing when this happened, trying to back to the line, it takes a man to be a man. Your dad is not responsive. Being afraid of legs getting wet, Brian Mass reference. Yeah, he's actually doing a quintuple entendre here as well, making a clear-cut shot at one of the grossest ultra-Zionists in Congress, Brian Mast, who famously is afraid of getting pissed on his legs. Anyway. Yo! Oh my God. The Drake writers have come after me. Refresh. I'm still here. Kaya. My buddy's here. That was not a fat F, dude. What are you guys talking about? What's good, brother? Oh, shit. Just sprayed everywhere. No! No! Fuck. I just fucking sprayed everywhere. That's a double F. Fuck. Hold on, chat. A lot is happening at the HasanAbi household right now. Fuck. I just got pissed on by fucking Mountain Dew. It's a mess. Ay, fuck. Look at this. Hold on. I'm covering the Drake Kendrick Lamar rap beef right now. Oh my God, bro. No, Kendrick ended his lineage, brother. Come on. Dude, are you kidding me? Did you listen to Meet the Grams? I bet you didn't even listen. No, you didn't. You probably were crying while listening to it. My one of my besties, one of my normie friends is staying with me, and he's a massive LeBron stan like I am, but he's also a massive Drake rider as well, and a J. Cole fan, saying that Kendrick didn't end shit. He's lying to himself. It's good. It's good to know. It's good to know that there are people out there with differing opinions like this. So far from the truth. Tab over to the Genius bar to see what you highlighted. Yeah, I know. I just I literally was talking about someone pissing on someone's leg while I simultaneously got fucking pissed on my own leg by Diet Mountain Dew. That was a bit of a kismet moment, okay? I really wish you know how intricate the trenches of Toronto is, and you could easily know how corrupt the Drake is. in the city alone as a Somali Canadian. I know too many youths he used. On God. Yeah, I saw Metro Boomin is in the booth now. All right. You're cheesing, fam. You're cheesing. All right, let's keep going.
I'm blaming you for all his gambling addictions, psychopath intuition, the man that liked to play victim.
By the way, he does drop a bar about his gambling addiction, which I obviously consider to be a phenomenal line there. Something I brought up as well. Something I said Kendrick could bring up potentially. This is a speculation that's been going around for quite a while now. Obviously, as you guys know, Drake is sponsored by Stake.com, the online crypto casino, and also is a kick streamer. So, you know, he's never fall in the escort business. That's bad religion. Please remember, you could be a bitch even if you got bitches. Wait, hold on. I think did I skip ahead or something? Is that what happened on accident? As a Drake stan, Drake is 100% a gambling addict. Sad to see. Yeah.
Membership, understand, no throwing rocks and hiding hands, that's law. Don't be ashamed about who you with, that's how he treats your moms. Don't have a kid to hide again, be sure. 5% will comprehend, but 95 is lost. Be proud of who you are. Your strength come from within. A lot of superstars, that's real, but your daddy ain't one of them like him. You'll carry yourself as king. Can't understand me right now. Just play this when you 18.
I didn't miss the first verse. I listened to it. Dear Adonis, your man's a father. Let me be honest. It takes a man to be a man. Your dad is not responsive. He says he wishes his grandpa used a condom, so Drake never actually fucking was born. He said, life is hard. I know the challenge is going to beat us home. Always going to beat us home. Sometimes our parents make mistakes that affect us until we're grown, which is, again, another double entendre, speaking directly to Adonis, but actually also criticizing Drake's dad and how that actually, this is the entire song. The entire song is always a callback to the cycle of violence and cycle of domestic abuse, cycle of like bad behavior that basically comes from like a bad parent leading to a child also becoming a bad parent, which is the entire song is about that. It also goes back to like Kendrick Lamar's own personal opinions on this matter as well. Like, you know, he has a lot of songs basically talking about like reflecting on his past behavior, reflecting on his trauma, reflecting on how his trauma has caused him to behave a certain way throughout his life that he wasn't actually happy with, and working through that pain and becoming a better person. So it turns back into like his entire discography pretty much. Yeah, that's what he's doing in this situation, where he's like directly talking to Adonis, but he's actually talking to Drake, and he's actually talking to Drake's father as well. So never let a man piss on your leg. We already talked about that. Never fall in the escort business as bad religion. Obviously, like saying that Drake is always hanging out with strippers, sex workers, and Drake's baby mama, Sophie Brazeau, is a former porn star, highlighted on the walls of starlets. Further pushing Kendrick's agenda of him parading and objectifying women, where he says, like, you know, Drake is basically using women as commodities. And it's crazy because all three of those people will hear it. Yeah. Dog is someone tenacious enough with a hustler's mentality for all the dogs. He refers to himself as such with heavy visual imagery depicting the theme of dogs. Saying you could be a bitch even if you got bitches, referring to Drake, obviously saying that Drake gets bitches, but he's also still a bitch himself, and not a real man, and kind of a coward and a pussy. and like abdicating his responsibility as a father, refusing to take responsibility over his actions, not being a real quote unquote real man, right? Never code switch, obviously talking about Drake. And his entire career in general. Code switching is the practice of alternate. I mean, you guys know what code switching is. Anyway, Adonis is light skinned by many standards of black, and by many of the black community standards, he would probably not be taken kindly if he were to grow up in appropriate black culture through speaking AAV. But I don't think that's what they're saying. I don't think that's what he's saying to Adonis. I think this is more so about Drake code switching. I don't think this is about Adonis. More so, it is about, this is obviously like white chatters are writing the fucking genius annotations here. I think that it's more so about, I think it's more so about Drake's, it's more so a shot at Drake saying that Drake code switches and has like picked and choose different aspects of black culture globally to redefine himself after every studio album, and you know, he's insecure about his blackness in order to do so, or even like maybe even repulsed by it, which obviously something that we saw early on with like a lot of the ways that Drake has talked about black culture when he was like a child actor. And how different it is now in the way that he talks about his own blackness. It's a complicated thing to broach. It's a complicated issue to cover, especially as a white person. Obviously, I'm just like trying to do my very best here, but it has nothing to do with him being biracial in general. It's more so about being anti-black while also simultaneously using black culture to your advantage and choosing different aspects of black culture for different albums, like and adopting it like a chameleon. Yeah, he's using parenting Adonis as a way to point out the flaws of Drake while sunning him at the same time. Exactly. Even if it don't benefit your girls, do some push-ups, get some discipline. Once again, literally shitting on Drake, and don't cut corners like your daddy did. Fuck what Ozempic did, which of course is ironic because it like exposes the hypocrisy of Drake shitting on Rick Ross for using Ozempic while he is OVO Ozempic himself. And that's a big reveal. Obviously, this has nothing to do with Adonis at this point. I hope you guys understand that. He's like, again, being a better father to Adonis by giving him life lessons that he could be giving to Drake as well, or life lessons that he's actually directing at Drake, as a matter of fact. Don't pay to play with the Brazilians, get a gym membership. This is a BBL Drake shot, which I personally think is very funny. I love that. The BBL Drake is probably my favorite meta, my favorite meme of all time. I did not know that there was even suspicion that he got fake sculpted abs. It's so fucking Drake to do such a thing. Anyway, Kendrick continues to play on the rumors of Drake's undergoing ab surgery or even a BBL, which began circulating in April 2021 when he canceled the show's Lollapalooza Brazil. However, he was caught earlier announcing the cancellation at a nightclub in Miami with 50 Cent. DJ Skrillex was called to replace Drake's set. Kendrick is issuing another warning to Drake. In response to shots thrown at her by Drake in regards to Tory Lanez case, Megan Thee Stallion, our queen, had clocked this first, or not clocked it first, but like basically put it in the record first when she said in her single, January 2024 single, these homies hate on BBLs and be walking around with the same scars. Real curvy, no etching. Homies fight to get in my section. Homies, question mark? Yes, I am white. Okay. I don't know if you guys know this. I'm a Caucasian man. Okay. I am a Caucasian male. I'm glad you've liked what you've seen so far. I love what I've seen so far. She truly threw the first brick at Drake wall. Yo! The first brick. Anyway. You are about as black as Drake is. Yeah, this is the aspect of this rap beef that I actually do despise. Is like, obviously both Drake and Kendrick have a shit ton of white fans. Okay. And it is annoying to me that like white people are running around saying that Drake is not black and he's actually white. And that unironically, I think is the worst aspect of this back and forth rap battle, which is unironically racist. It is not something that you can say. It's ridiculous. Drake is a black man. Okay. Know your place, chatters. That's fucking ridiculous. It actually is like very frustrating to see that. Don't do this, especially not in this fucking community. Now, Rick Ross said it doesn't matter. Okay. It doesn't matter. Like I have brought up some of the, I've tried to cover this as delicately as possible. It's not like people talking about Drake's cultural development and upbringing in Canada in an upper middle class white family, and how that has led him to have this internal confliction and maybe some internalized white supremacy is not the same as saying that like Drake is not actually a black man. He is a black man. That is ridiculous. Okay. It's like, please be normal about it. And I know that it's going to be, and I know that this will definitely have this like annoying thing that people will inevitably have to discuss. Okay. I'm sure black content creators will inevitably have to discuss this because, like this is not like a space for white people to be like, Drake is not black. I joke, but the criticism of Drake being a culture vulture is so often equated with him being white because that people don't get that black people can also do white supremacy. Yeah. Anyway. I mean, it's like saying Candace Owens isn't black just because of the shit she says. Yes, if you recognize, if you've noticed, whenever I talk about Candace Owens, I always say that she puts a black face on white supremacy. She is a black woman. She is being tokenized by white supremacists, being used as a soldier of white supremacy. But that does not mean that she is not a black woman. She is very much a black woman. And not only that, but also I wouldn't even equate Drake's behavior with Candace Owens. Come on now. Like, as much as I criticize Drake, as much as I like to make fun of Drake, that's insane. I think that Candace Owens is on a very different league than Drake. Drake maybe comes close, but not. I mean, he's still a mile off from being Candace Owens. Like when he says stuff like, "Oh, you're being racist," to a black man, or talking about like reverse colorism in the black community. Yes, that is like, you know, caucasity. That is objectively speaking, that is like very much something that like white people would say, right? But that is still, that does not mean that he is not a black man. He is a black man. Okay, it's ridiculous. Or even the slavery bar, which was most likely written by a white ghostwriter. Saying Drake is not even a mile off Candace is fucking ridiculous, bro. Wait, what? Come on, guys. That's crazy. Drake is chasing white culture, but there is no world in which Drake is turned around and been like fucking Miley Cyrus, because he can't be like Miley Cyrus. He can't just fucking twerk 1 week and then go back to making country albums the next. He is black. He's a black dude. Okay. He's a black man. That's crazy. There's a difference between Drake doing culture vulture and that doing culture vulture behavior, and that being a fucking point of understandable criticism by the black community in general, versus like how hard you could do culture vulture shit as a white person. Like there's an entirely different aspect of commodifying black culture while never really being for black culture when a white person does it, like the Kardashians, right? And then there's Candace Owens. As a biracial person, I'm only considered black by white people. By black people, I'm considered a white person. Being biracial is a microculture in and of itself. He's black. He's not black. He's biracial. Is not the same thing. I think that's, I mean, that is, I can't speak on this. Okay. I can't. Is like there's levels to it. I think there's levels to it. There's levels to what we are talking about as far as colorism in the black community. But I don't think the colorism goes in the direction of white. It goes in the direction of being anti-black. So historically speaking, at least. So ultimately it doesn't matter, because like white supremacy defines the boundaries as under the one drop rule. So it's ridiculous to have this conversation. Beyond that, I do feel I get it. I'm not speaking on your experience and saying that your experience is incorrect. This is a silly conversation to have, ultimately, especially with a relatively white community, especially with a white content creator such as myself. This is like beyond. At this point, we've moved past black people's business. We're now talking about the nitty-gritty and the intricacies of like internal conflict amongst biracial black people versus people who are darker skinned inside of the black community. I'm not getting into this. It's not my place. Ridiculous for me to have have a statement on it, especially considering that like there are issues inside. Some of the biracial discourse coming out of Drake slander is disappointing. Some of y'all got reactionary tendencies and you need to check that. It shows y'all have poor analysis skills, because Kendrick's critique of Drake isn't based on his biracial status. Notice ain't no one ever said anything about Cole being about Cole's white mama. Drake isn't whack because of his biracial status. He's whack because of his culture vulture tendencies. Exactly. Anything beyond that, I think, is like anything beyond that, I'm not going to speak on, because there are aspects of black culture that obviously like I have spoken about at length in as like delicate of a way that I possibly can as a white person. But this is not an aspect of black culture that I can speak on at all. And also don't care to speak on at all. So I think I've done a decent job of covering it, though, in as careful of a manner as I possibly can. The most anti-black dudes in the world right now got 4 black grandparents, but y'all seem to think you're cooking on this white mama narrative. Yeah. Oh, got it. So half black, half white folk in the West don't get to decide who they are for racists to decide that for them. Exactly. You are black to racist whites and mostly considered black by black people unless you are not there psychologically, like Dr. Johnson mentions. Trevor Noah has a great piece in this book. Even Frantz Fanon explains this source. I am also half black, half white, among other things. Yeah. Also, this is ironic because I've talked about this with like my own personal experience with some of my very close friends who are not African descendants of slaves, but instead like first generation African immigrants, and like their own understanding of black culture and what it means, and then how quickly that changed for them the moment that they were perceived as black from in the eyes of white people. So that is precisely the reason why, like, blackness obviously is still very much defined on the boundaries of white supremacy and white supremacists, and what white supremacists think is black, which still goes back to the one drop rule ultimately. Okay, so you know, but on the other side, I can't, like I said, all right, well, let's just move on. I'm not gonna talk more about I don't want to talk more about like the intricacies of like half white, half black chatters, or half white, half black members of this community, and like how they feel or how they've potentially been bullied by black people. Anyway, Hasan is only raised to Canadians is true. Okay.
Dear Sandra, your son got some habits, I hope you don't undermine them, especially with all the girls that's hurt inside this climate.
So then he starts talking to Sandra, Sandy Graham, Drake's mother. He figures she must be disturbed by his seemingly misogynistic antics. Kendrick mentioned these antics in April 2024 in the diss track Euphoria. I believe you don't like women. It's real competition. You might pop ass with them. Considering the rather bleak political climate for American women, given the turbulent state of abortion rights, rape culture, and patriarchy at large, Lamar implies that Sandy feels her son lacks empathy for her plight as a woman. The rest of this is literally just like, a lot of this second verse is basically dedicated to like Drake's behavior, his objectification of women, his commodification of black women specifically, and his behavior and the harm that he has personally allegedly done to women in general across the board, and maybe girls. Okay.
Woman, so you know how it feels to be in alignment with emotion, hoping a man can see you and not be blinded. Dear Dennis, you gave birth to a master manipulator. Even using you to prove who he is a huge favor.
Obviously talking about his dad, which also Pusha T had brought up in the story of Addy Don, which is an incredible, insane bar. But he's claiming that like this is again both disrespecting Drake and his father, saying that they're both master manipulators, going back onto the same the culture of the cycle of violence and the cycle of like bad behavior born out of trauma, saying that both Dennis Drake's father, Dennis Graham, Drake's father, and Drake himself are basically both master manipulators using one another. Famously, Drake's dad wasn't really around when he was growing up, and that played a role in his development. But then now he's very much around, and it's a mutually beneficial relationship. Hayır çocuk. Çocuk ve kırmızı. Ve de şey. Yok hayır. It's just chicken. A boatload of chicken. Anyway, saying that both Drake and Dennis are utilizing one another in a mutually beneficial but increasingly manipulative cycle. Dennis uses Drake for money and fame and clout. And Drake is using his dad to prove his blackness to the rest of the world is the underlying attitude here. Baba kaç kilo tavuk? Yani kaç pound? Huh? Okay. Do you know how dumb you sound right now? Wait, why do I sound dumb? What did I just say that was dumb? Why are Drake stans just coming in here ill-equipped to have this conversation? That shouldn't be your main point. Wait, what? This is not my main point. It's Kendrick Lamar's main point. Even using you to prove who he is a huge favor. I think you should ask for more money and more paper and more paper.
I think you should ask for more paper and more paper and more paper. I'm blaming you for all his gambling addictions, psychopath intuition, the man that liked to play victim. You raised a horrible fucking person. The nerve of you, Dennis. Sandra, sit down. What I'm about to say is heavy. Now listen.
So, yeah, he's just repeating that, like, you know, Dennis being like not around, being a deadbeat dad, caused Drake to also repeat that same and like develop in a way where he's like sociopathic and manipulative. No matter what the subject, you got ops in chat always. Also talking about his gambling addictions. Obviously, it's well known that Drake gambles a lot in casinos and online roulette. For example, in 2022, he allegedly won $27 million, although he went on to lose all that money he gained. As you guys know, Drake's dad, Dennis, is also a gambler. And you know, Drake is sponsored by Stake.com. And also, not only is he sponsored by Stake.com, but he also streams on Kick. Anita Max Win is literally, I need a maximum win. He's even fucking, you know, rapped about it. And not only that, but also, beyond that, he, the speculation is that the reason why he has to release so many fucking albums is because he's like always trying to desperately make more money because he's always spending it. He's rich as fuck. He still pumps out music like he's, you know, like he's Nicolas Cage or Morgan Freeman, going and doing any fucking, any audition they can.
Your son's a sick man with sick thoughts. I think niggas like him should die. Him and Weinstein should get fucked up in a cell for the rest of their life. He hates black women, hypersexualize them with kinks of a nympho fetish. Grew facial hair because he understood being a beard just fit him better. He got sex offenders on Hovey.
He's saying he grew a beard because he grew facial hair because being a beard just fit him better. I think he's saying he's gay. He hates black women, hypersexualize them with kinks of a nympho fetish. This is the most unk bar that he has. Like, when I first heard this, I was like, this is the most uncle-coded bar I've ever heard in my entire fucking life. In the entire discography of Kendrick Lamar, this is like the most uncle-coded, the most unk bar of all time. He hates black women, hypersexualize them with kinks of a nympho fetish. His magnum uncas. It's just like such a funny, it's a funny line. It's a funny line, especially because he's like saying nympho fetish. The ayahuasca bar is not a unk-coded bar, but more so a Joe Rogan-coded bar. It's hippie granola shit. Nympho is a nymphomaniac. It's like a hypersexual woman who has a super high sex drive. Anyway, then he says Drake is gay. And then a lot of stuff comes out here.
Yo, that he keep on a monthly allowance. A child should never be compromised, and he keeping his child around him. And we gotta raise our daughters knowing his predators like should never befit him. Hypersexualize him with kinks of an info fetish. Grew facial hair because he understood being the beard just fit him better. He got sex offenders on Hovio that he keep on a monthly allowance. A child should never be compromised, and he keeping his child around him. And we gotta raise our daughters knowing his predators like him lurking. Fuck a rap battle, he should die so all of these women can live with a purpose. I've been in this industry 12 years, I'ma tell y'all one little secret. It's some weird shit going on, and some of these artists be here to police it. They be streamlining victims all inside of their home and calling them tender. Then leak videos of themselves to further push their agenda.
So this is like a lot of these lines are specifically about how, I guess the beard is like saying that he's providing cover, not for him being gay, because beard usually is like, you get a beard when you're like a gay man to be perceived as heterosexual. That's what like, it's, you know, getting a wife as a gay man. But it could be also to provide cover for the sex abusers and sex criminals inside of OVO, because he immediately starts talking about that. Kendrick essentially implies that Drake and other music industry elites are running sex trafficking rings in their homes. This part is, by the way, literally not false. This is like a massive, this is a huge aspect of all matter of different, like, Hollywood, fashion. That part is literally correct. It's not just Diddy. There's a lot of stuff that happens in like even the fashion industry and its connections with like nightclub and nightclub promotion and whatnot, that normal people, if they like fully understood what was going on, would be like, oh, I know what that is. That's some Jeffrey Epstein shit. Drake is not a part of Diddy's crew. Yeah, I'm not talking about Diddy. The music industry elites are running sex trafficking rings in their homes. He likens it to Tinder, a dating app that streamlines potential suitors for the user to sort through. It should be noted that this description matches the unverified claims made by TikToker Eileen's Garden, who went viral in October 2021 for exposing Drake's alleged private Tinder. Here is the 2021 video I'm going to show you right now. I don't know if this is like, you know, legit or not.
Job was basically just to text girls to invite to Drake's parties.
Oh, sweetie, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Now, everything I'm about to tell you is 100% true, and this information came to me from one of the crew members on Drake's tour. This was the guy who did all the tech stuff, and he told me that Drake has an employee whose job is to go around town looking for super hot girls. He finds the girls and then he interviews them, and out of all the girls he interviews, he picks the one that he thinks is the best. Then he drives her to Drake's place. Drake has sex with her, and then he drives her home. So basically, Drake has his own private Tinder.
Job was basically just to text.
Your Rich says OVO heads just be opening their mouths about this type of stuff. There was literally, yeah, there was an Atlanta episode about this straight up. It's one of those things. It's one of those things where it's like, to the normal person, to the normie, you're like, what the fuck? That seems a lot like sex trafficking. It's just a matter of consent at that point. But a lot of famous people do this, like a lot. Yeah, this was literally, I mean, the busing of girls is like actually a real thing. It's not a new concept. It's been around for a very long time. It's basically what nightclub promotion is in general as well. It becomes a thing. It becomes an actual legal issue. It becomes an actual legal issue when the conversation, do you do it? Come on, bro. Yeah, I'm busing girls to my fucking family home where I live with my dad and mom. Like, are you fucking insane? Yeah, I'm just like Drake, dude. it's an issue when it becomes a matter of it's an issue when it's an issue with consent. If they're underage, obviously they can't consent, so that's a legal problem. If they are, you know, drunk and inebriated at these parties, and then they engage in sexual acts, then again, that's another, you know, that's just date rape. So, additionally, these lines from Drake's Chicago Freestyle in May 2020 seem to outright admit this. All good, Chubbs will look around, find one that seem my type, that my dog, he know what I like, he done found me plenty in my life. Baka Not Nice was arrested for sex trafficking and assault in June 2014. OVO signee. While exact details of the case aren't public, the sex trafficking charges were eventually dropped. While Drake's involvement in any of this hasn't been confirmed to any primary source, this would track with his alleged pedophilia. He tried to preemptively neuter the shot on Taylor Made, as you guys know. Lamar even likens Drake, the disgraced film producer and sex offender Harvey Weinstein. Kendrick alleges that Drake advertised a sex trafficking ring by leaking a nude video of himself that went viral in February 2024, which Drake bragged about with the slinky. Fuck the big three. It's only Big D. There's video proof. Anyway.
To any woman that be playing this music, know that you're playing your sister, or better yet, selling your niece. To the weirdos, not the good ones. Cat Williams, I give you the truth, so I'ma get mines. The embassy about to get raided too. It's only a matter of time. Hey, Lil Bron, keep the family away. Hey, Curry, keep the family away. To anybody that embody the love for their kids, keep the family away.
Kind of sus how you accidentally skipped the LeBron line on the first run. Yeah, I did. That was actually not on purpose. He tells friends, like public friends of Drake with children, to stay away from Drake. And then we move on to the third verse.
They looking at you too if you're standing by him. Keep the
obviously, like the embassy, he says the embassy about to get raided. Talking about embassy is Drake's mega mansion, saying it's gonna be just like Diddy.
Away. I'm looking to shoot through any pervert that lives. Keep the family safe.
Yeah, he's saying that like he will shoot through people. Like he's gonna do a shootout, and then in order to kill pedophiles and perverts and sex criminals, and they might actually get hit in the crossfire. What?
Just meet him.
So
The dream. Well, when did you first meet him?
So I played basketball, right? So he really was a fan of not a fan, supported one of my teammates at the time. And
this is when you're in high school?
Yeah, in high school. So he was a fan of women's basketball, high school basketball. I was her teammate, so he followed me because of her. And I was like, oh shit, bitch, you got Drake to follow me? Like, what the hell? Like, that's so crazy.
Oh my God.
He followed me, and I lost it. I'm like, I have to meet Drake. Like, I love Drake. I've always
the Drake thing.
That's insane. We found people that care about women's sports. Yeah. That's insane. Holy shit. I didn't even know that. I don't know what else to say about that. Isn't Drake a feminist? Oh my God, bro. You cannot be this much of a fucking Drake rider. That is crazy. Oh my God.
Dear baby girl, I'm sorry that your father not active inside your world. He don't commit to much, but it's music, yeah, that's for sure. He a narcissist, misogynist, living inside his songs. Try to destroy families rather than taking care of his own. Should be teaching you timetables or watching Frozen with you, or at your 11th birthday singing poems with you.
This is obviously the big reveal. It's not my first time reacting to this. But he reveals that at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, obviously. So, Adonis is only hidden for a year. You think he could hide his daughter for 11? I don't know. This is currently, as it stands, an unsubstantiated accusation that unfortunately does have, in a court of law, there's enough like character witnesses that can attest to it. Pretty much every single person on the planet that can attest to Drake having to hide a child. It is alleged so far. It could be a fake accusation. It's just that this is something that Drake has done. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. He has a tweet from 11 years ago that just says baby girl. It was deleted yesterday. Wait, he deleted that? He talks, this is where Kendrick implies that Drake is hiding an abandoned daughter. Lamar implies that she'd been abandoned by him for over 11 years, hence why he never took the parental responsibilities of helping her with her math homework or spending quality with her by watching Disney films like 2013's Frozen. And he was busy living inside songs or obsessing over his music career. Kendrick condemned his obsession with rapping over parenting. After this track dropped on May 3rd, 2024, Drake immediately denied the allegations on an Instagram story. Here it is, which was insane. This is an entire fucking 7-minute song where he's saying that you're a pedophile, you're a sex criminal, your homies are sex criminals. And like Drake thought, oh yeah, let me go address one of the fucking rumors. Nah, hold on. Can someone find my hidden daughter, please, and send her to me? These guys are in shambles. He then, of course, quickly deleted it because everyone in his team probably were like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? He called you a groomer, an addict, a misogynist. That's a crazy thing to just reply to with one fucking Instagram story. Another shout out to RDC, by the way. They also clocked this. What an unimaginable moment. He didn't delete it. It's not up. Oh, it's still up. Sorry. It is still up. What is this? He still has yet to deny anything else. Regardless. This is a song where he was compared to Harvey Weinstein. And literally he did nothing. That his only response was, you know, lol, I don't have a daughter. Anyway. While this isn't conclusive evidence of anything, the tweet was 12 years old as of 2024. If the tweet Drake celebrating the birth of his daughter, this would indeed be chronologically validating Lamar's claims of Drake missing her 11th birthday in 2023. Living inside songs is something Kendrick herself admitted to struggling with on Fear from his 2017 album Damn, where he rapped with 14 tracks carried out over wax, wondering if I'm living through fear or living through rap. Instead, he be in Turks, paying for sex and popping perks, examples that you don't deserve. Obviously, he loves Turks and Caicos. That's like a famous Drake spot. I want to tell you that you're loved, you're brave, you're kind. Kendrick is reassuring Drake's assumed daughter. She did nothing to do to cause her father to be a deadbeat. You got a gift to change the world and could change your father's mind because children is the future, but he lives inside confusion. Money's always been an illusion, but that's the life he's used to, saying that he only cares about materialistic things.
Instead, he being Turks, paying for sex and popping perks, examples that you don't deserve. I want to tell you that you're loved, you're brave, you're kind. You got a gift to change the world and can change your father's mind. Cause our children is the future, but he lives inside confusion. Money's always been illusion, but that's the life he's used to. His father probably didn't claim him neither. History do repeats itself, sometimes it don't need a reason. But I would like to say it's not your fault that he's hiding another child. Give him grace, this the reason I made Mr. Morale. So our babies like you can cope later. Give you some confidence to go through something. It's hope later. I never want to hear you chasing man cause it's failed behavior. Sitting in the club with sugar daddies for validation. You need to know that love is eternity and trumps all pain. I tell you who your father is, just play this song when it rains.
He's like, Hasan, I've dated sex workers, Piker. Yeah, no, it is not a secret that Kendrick Lamar is anti-sex work throughout this entire song. And saying that that is a bad thing overall and that I hope Drake's daughter doesn't turn to prostitution. I don't know what you're... Yeah, he's unk. Drake fans mad they don't know AI's production style. Hasan about to catch a stray in the next drop. No, I am pro sex work. I don't mind as long as it's consensual, as long as it's obviously among adults. The issue is that, oh, Al, the alchemist. Anyway, regardless, he's saying, don't turn to prostitution because your dad wasn't there for you. I'll tell you who your father is. Just play the song when it rains. He's a hit maker, songwriter, superstar, right? And a fucking deadbeat. Okay, this part is really hard.
Yes, he's a hit maker, songwriter, superstar, right? And a fucking deadbeat that should never say more life. Meet the Grams. Dear Hybrid, I know you probably thinking I wanted to crash your party, but truthfully I don't have a hating bone in my body. It's supposed to be a good exhibition within the game, but you fucked up the moment you called out my family's name. Why you had to stoop so low to discredit some decent people? Guess integrity is lost when the metaphors doesn't reach you. And I like to understand cause your house was never a home. 37 but you showing up as a 7-year-old. You got gambling problems, drinking problems, pill popping and spending problems. Bad with money, whorehouse, soliciting women problems. Therapy's a lovely start, but I suggest some ayahuasca. Strip the ego from the bottom. I try to empathize with you, cause I know that you...
This is very Joe Rogan coded. This was the other line where he's like, come on, do some ayahuasca. And engage in ego death.
You ain't been through nothing, crave entitlement, but wanna be like so bad that it's puzzling. No dominance. Let's recap moments when you didn't fit in. No secret handshake.
The last verse is like all about Drake directly. Starts talking about, you know, how Drake has caused him to behave this way, even though he didn't want to. Turns around and says that Drake behaves like a child. He's 37 years old, but he behaves like a 7-year-old. Got gambling problems, drinking problems, pill popping and spending problems. as we talked about already, soliciting woman problems. Says, you know, do ayahuasca. Kendrick, I don't have a hating bone in my body. Also, Kendrick, you should die. I mean, it's true. At this point, Drake is already dead 12 times over. He's literally just like defiling the corpse. Okay. This part I think is like the first like couple verses was already like borderline war crime shit. But now we are definitely in like objectively IDF style war crime territory. We're talking defiling defiling the dead. Okay. It's also wild because like it specifically is sung over, rapped over such a haunting melody. Like it feels like a horror movie from start to finish. Actually. But then here he starts talking about, he starts playing the role of therapist and starts cutting into Drake even further and further. While growing up far from rich, Drake was predominantly raised in the affluent neighborhood of Forest Hill in Toronto. Meanwhile, Kendrick grew up in Section 8 government housing. This line is claiming that Drake has not been through enough hardships in his past life compared to Kendrick. Hence, Kendrick needing to try to empathize with Drake. Are you going to do the Drake diss? Says Champagne Peppy. I already did. In a sense, Kendrick may be puzzled at how Drake has accumulated such a plethora of problems and bad character traits, which he mentions in the previous lines, when he has such a blessed upbringing in comparison to someone like Kendrick. And then he goes into the actual details here, which I think are like very cutting. Like this is some Nardwuar level shit, in my opinion. This is like Nardwuar the human serviette if he was evil. Okay? Like wildly disrespectful and genuinely hurtful shit. Okay? He moved on from being unimaginably hurtful to like directing his anger and resentment towards Drake directly at Drake by just saying some shit that, by just basically saying some shit that's like, you know how Nardwuar would be like, well, this is your friend. It's an action figure when you were 12. It's like he's basically doing that. He's like, you had no secret handshakes. Okay?
Let's recap moments when you didn't fit in. No secret handshakes with your friend. No culture cachet to binge. Just disrespecting your mother. Identities on the fence. Don't know which family will love you. The skin that you living in is compromised in personas. Can't channel your masculine even when standing next to a woman. You a body shamer. You go hide them baby mamas, ain't you? You embarrassed of them. That's not right. That ain't how mama raised us. Take that mask off. I wanna see what's under them achievements. Why believe you? You never gave us nothing to believe in. Cause you lied about religious views. You lied about your surgery. You lied about your accent and your past tense. All is perjury. You lied about your ghost riders. You lied about your crew members. They all pussy. You lied on them. I know they all got you in them. You lied about your son. You lied about your daughter, huh? You lied about them other kids that's out there hoping that you come. You lied about the only artist that can offer you some help. Fuck a rap battle. This a long life battle with yourself.
I've listened to this song like 8 times now, and every single time the ending gives me fucking chills. Every single time. Every single time. It's just so... It's so cooked, especially because it's like... It hits literally everything that Drake is like unimaginably insecure about. It's like... It's really fucked up. This is a long battle with yourself. Fuck a rap battle. It's just, I mean, yeah, he's talking about the sexy red photo again. He brought it up before too, saying he's popping his ass. You're a body shamer. You're gonna hide them baby mamas, ain't you? Kendrick say that there are more than already aforementioned 2 baby mamas, the mother of Adonis and the mother of secret daughter. Interestingly, Kendrick here suggests that whoever Drake's other baby mamas are, they do not fit the typical beauty standards of a woman, then shames Drake for hiding her for that reason. This could possibly add up, as it is a well-kept secret that Drake has a preference for plus-size women. This is not a secret. Drake has said that he has a preference for thick women, such as in J. Cole's 2010 song In the Morning. I love thick women because my aunt, she rode equestrian. What? It's like every fucking lyric that Drake has is a self-report for the next 10 years. What the fuck does that mean? She said, I'm obsessed with thick women, and I agree. Yeah, that's right. I like my girls, BBW. The line might be about Shirtkevia Myrick in particular. She was a 19-year-old who said in 2014 that Drake was the father of her son and then deleted all her social media profiles after the post went viral. She would have fit this narrative if true.